We're talking about the couple in the Bath area who have got a young baby, still less than 2 years old, or child, I should say, and they have not told anyone the gender outside their nearest and dearest, and actually they managed to hide it even from the child's grandmother for 11 months. But as we were hearing from our correspondent who's met them, the grandmother, it rather made her change the way she looked at the gender issue. I'm just treading carefully here because I just want to hear what you say. James Ryan in Christchurch, Dorset, says, I used to be completely against this, but then I started to think about it, and we really are just cosmic beings on a journey through time. And it's possible that sometimes somebody's spirit is in the wrong physical body. And whether this is about sexuality or about gender, as opposed to sex, which is mechanical, that's the question. We're not going to sexuality on this. This is just about identifying as what? Maybe you don't even have to identify as a boy or girl. Chloe Moon in Berkshire, this is up your street because you're doing the same with your child.
Yes, we're raising our baby River gender creative.
Sorry, gender creative?
Yes.
Okay.
We choose the term gender creative or gender open over neutral because I feel like neutral conjures up kind of boring images, whereas we want our child's experience to be gender full. So nothing is off limits.
Right. And what age is River now?
7.5 months.
Okay, so very, very young. And have you managed to hide the child's gender, River's gender, from grandparents?
Well, River hasn't got a gender at the moment. They're what we call anti-gender, so like an anti-room before you step into the room, if you know what I mean. So they haven't got a gender at the moment.
Okay, what about, I should have used the word sex, shouldn't I then?
Their anatomy. So grandparents do know the anatomy because they are caregivers. We use they, them pronouns, and in the house, like everyone uses they, them pronouns for River. Aside from our family, no one else knows River's anatomy.
And because grandparents are maybe more challenged by this because they're of a different generation, is it not possible that they might slip into he, she? And if they do, what do you do?
Well, that's actually not really happened since River was maybe a week or two old. But River's anatomy wasn't sort of disclosed until they were about maybe 3 months.
Okay.
Or 4 months.
And what's it doing? Go on.
By that time, everyone got used to using they, them, so it wasn't really an issue anymore.
Understood. What is the advantage of this, Clay?
Well, we're just trying to promote gender equality and giving River the freedom to express herself without, stereotypical gender restrictions or expectations.
Have you experienced in your life what you might call gender inequality?
I suppose. I mean, I'm a cisgender white woman, so my experience of gender is going to be different to other people who identify as cisgender, cisgender woman. But
maybe you should explain cisgender to our listeners.
Oh, sorry. Cisgender is sort of the opposite of transgender. It's someone who was assigned at birth and is still kind of identifies with the same gender that they were assigned at birth.
Okay, I think I might be cisgender as well. Yeah.
So I was assigned female at birth, and I still identify as female.
Right, understood. But so you haven't had in your family or close to you somebody whose issue over gender caused them pain?
I do have friends who are trans or non-binary, but they're doing well. So
Good. It
was kind of my experiences with them and society as a whole, like meeting people at university. So I kind of got to understand gender, that it's a social construct, that it's not a binary, it's a spectrum, and River could fall anywhere on that spectrum. And me and my partner want to create a world for them where they can be whoever they want without any restrictions or feeling bad about anything.
Fascinating. Thank you so much for calling us. That's really been eye-opening. Thank you, Chloe.
Thank you.
Bless you. Take care. You and your family. And River. Chloe Moon in Berkshire. River is they, them, until he or she chooses. Dawn Susan in Stornoway, Western Isles. Dawn, what do you think of what we're hearing?
I think it's really interesting that they're trying to bring their child up to not have the gender stereotypes in our society, and that's really, really important. But there's a real conflation of sex and gender in this conversation. Gender is about the stereotypes. Sex is about the biological fact.
Got it.
That something that the previous caller said was that she was assigned at birth. This is a biological fact. You are either male or female at birth. You're not assigned anything. And actually, what we should be fighting is those gender stereotypes. So yes, it's important that we're not dressing children in pink and blue and saying, isn't she pretty and isn't he strong? That's what I want them to be challenging, not trying to hide the sex of this baby.
It's interesting here because I see what you mean, but the whole thing is that because sex, i.e. the mechanical fact, is so tangled with gender, which is how we're seen and how we behave and so on, what they've decided to do is blank or keep secret the sex in order to keep the gender fluid. Can you see why they would do that?
I think it's the wrong strategy.
Right.
I think the feminists have been fighting for this for 50 years, that this new terminology is really not helpful, that I think that they should be challenging people if they start to treat their child in stereotyped ways. But using so-called gender-neutral pronouns is not going to be the way ahead. And talking about the possibility of a transitioning child, in a few years' time, we're going to be saying that this whole transitioning revolution was actually child abuse, that nobody is born in the wrong body.
Okay, Dawn, thank you very much. Again, food for thought. Excuse me. Johnny emails. Excuse me. I've got the utmost respect for those who experience gender dysphoria, and they should be accepted by society as the identity they wish to be. But biology is biology at the end of the day. You either have an XY or an XX chromosome. Nature cannot be overridden.